Wow. That was a screech that kind of failed.
I sucked a little helium during the commercial break there. I got Kurt Busch this week.
Oh, do you? Well, I have Kyle Busch then.
Ooh. Well, back.
Kyle won it for me once already.
Well, during the commercial break there, I did do quick research here for you. The Lakers are up one game right now. Lakers are 42-37. And the Jazz are 41-38. Both have 3 games remaining. Based on their opponents. What?
I was saying, oh really, what kind of quick research did you do? But I was interrupting you because you were already telling us.
Yeah. The Jazz have Minnesota twice. Minnesota's record is 29-49, so Minnesota isn't the best. And then their last game is against Memphis, 53-25. The Lakers, however, though, I think they're going to have a tougher schedule here. They got the Golden State Warriors, and they're 45-33. San Antonio Spurs, 51-7. I can't read my handwriting. 51-21. And Houston is 44-34. So I think I'm thinking the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs based on those records right there. But we shall see.
Oh, that's your prediction.
My predictions are the Jazz aren't going to make the playoffs.
Ah, okay.
That's my prediction. Sorry, Bull. I know he's probably not too happy to hear me say that, but anyways, let's get to our talk here. What do we got here? As many of you, I think we reported on here, the Lions have found a new kicker, David Akers, who kicked for San Francisco last season, and they signed him earlier this week. But hold the phone, everybody. The Lions have just signed another kicker.
Ah, yes.
It's a Norwegian soccer player, Harvard Rugland, to a free agent contract. I posted video footage of this guy. He is a YouTube sensation, and this whole video is him kicking a football in many different ways and in unique ways, and it was very impressive.
The Replacements.
The what?
The movie The Replacements. Have
Yeah.
you seen that?
Yeah, that's kind of what it reminded me of.
They signed.
Yeah, this.
I wonder if it could be anything like that.
Well, I know on the footage he was kicking 60-yard kicks like they were chip shots. So if this guy can live up to his YouTube video, this guy might outshine Jason Hansen actually. So we'll see though. It did say though that he has never played our type of football. And then
well, neither had the guy from The Replacements.
yeah, this is true. So
and I love that movie.
That movie is great. That is a great movie. Jimmy Howard and the Red Wings are finalizing the last details on a new contract that would keep the goalie in Detroit for a long term. Howard confirmed with reporters that it's a 6-year deal and it's worth $5.3 million per season.
Yes, indeed. That's one of the ones I had. Yep. So it sounds like that one's going to be a done deal here soon.
Yep. Which
$5.3 million. Wow.
He's a good goalie. I gotta say, I know a lot of times goalies get the bad rep for when they lose, but you know, sometimes you can't blame the goalie. Sometimes it's, you know,
not easy being a goalie.
No, it's really not being easy being a goalie, and I think he makes some outstanding saves. So, and then Monday was the NCAA finals game, and what a game it
was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was a great game.
That was a late night for me.
Yeah.
Didn't quite go the way we wanted it to, but it was a
Yes, I'm definitely proud to be a Michigan fan and the team represented, and I don't think they have anything to be too upset. I think definitely people will take Michigan basketball more seriously now, and hopefully each season.
You think about it, we weren't supposed to go that far, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, we were playing a lot of our bench guys, so you got to see a lot of different players. I love seeing that.
Spike!
Even though it was a tight-knit game, we were still seeing a lot of our bench guys out there, and that is just so awesome.
Yep. I was having a blast watching Spike make those three-pointers. He had 4 or 5 three-pointers there, and that's what gave us the lead there for a little while, so...
A kid with a future right there.
Yep.
You know, we got a young team, we got some great talent. Yeah, looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah, we'll see who... We'll see.
The season's over. I really enjoyed this college basketball season.
Yeah, me too. We'll see who returns back to the Michigan Wolverines, if any of them, and who's going to be going to the NBA. So.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So far, nothing out of the Michigan camp of who's doing what.
Yep.
I know the interviews afterwards were very emotional. That whole team was very emotional about their loss, which they let you know how much they poured into that game.
Yeah. Yep. I know it was a nail biter for most of the game, so.
I do know. I didn't think I wrote it down, but one of the guys from Indiana has already said they're going pro next year. And I think who else was there? There's talk that somebody from Louisville might be going too, but I don't remember what they said about that either.
Mm.
Those are the only 2 guys that I've heard really so far that have really said that they're going to be going pro next year. So.
Well, we wish them all the best of luck. So.
Nothing out of MSU camp. Nothing really out of too many of the Big Ten camps I've heard anything about. Some other basketball news I have. Sacramento Kings are not quite headed to Seattle yet.
Oh.
Yeah, the Maloof family has given investors until tomorrow afternoon to come up with a same deal offer that they are getting from the Seattle group. Now, there's some big stipulations with this too that could hurt the investors for Sacramento, because apparently Seattle had already put down a down payment for buying the team. So, in all fairness, if the deal doesn't go through with the Seattle group, then it might be up to the Sacramento investors to come up with that money to give back to Seattle if they choose to come up with the money. So it's as of tomorrow they have to decide. But I don't know. They haven't really said if the investors had a counter offer yet or not. They've just been given that amount of time. Other NBA news. This is the first year in 12 years that the Dallas Mavericks have not made the playoffs. Cuban doesn't seem to be too worried about it. He just said, we'll get more competitive again next year. So, and I guess this is the first time they haven't made the playoffs since Cuban's old the team.
Well, that's not too bad.
No, not really.
Could be worse.
And continuing on the NBA news, the reason why I chose, unfortunately, the Heat over the Celtics, because both Pierce and KJ are not going to be playing in that game. Both are going to be nursing injuries that are nagging them and bugging them, and so they will not be playing in that game. You kind of see a trend here. This is turning into a big thing with teams playing Miami lately.
Yeah.
Players not playing, key players not playing.
Well, Boston's making the playoffs, so I could see it. Not wanting them to risk getting injuries in just a regular season game, especially when they've, I believe, have already clinched. So I could kind of understand that one. What's the point of, someone's a little banged up too? Why not rest your starters? So.
And let's see, I got some NBA news here. The Cubs, one of their star players, George Solis, was suspended for 5 games.
Ooh.
Fined a very hefty fine on Wednesday for heading over to the other team waving a bat wildly.
Uh-oh.
Big no-no. You can't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, when you started talking about the Cubs, I thought you were going to bring up the present that was delivered to the Cubs owner. Did you hear? Did you hear about that one?
I forgot.
You forgot about that one?
I saw it on the blog, but what exactly were the details on that?
Well, some of you may know that there is a curse going on called the GOAT curse on the Cubs, and that's why they haven't won a World Series. When was their last World Series? I gotta find it real quick here. The lost the series. Oh, here it is. They last won a championship in 1908. Is a let's see, placed on. It's a curse that was placed on them during the 1945 World Series. Restaurant owner Billy Cazas brought his goat to a game, but was asked to leave, and he vowed the team would never win again. And since this curse has been put on, the team has not won a World Series. Well, a package was left outside of Gate K of Wrigley Field. In the package, a goat's head was in the package. So they're thinking this may be a reference to this curse. So yeah, a goat's head. And actually, I believe it has to do with there's actually a bar in Chicago, and it's called the Billy Goat Tavern, and it's world famous. So I think that might be connecting those two right there. So, but anyways.
Interesting.
Yes. Well, you got anything else, Tim?
This'll break the curse?
No, that won't break the curse. I think it was just referring to the curse. Like, oh, you guys haven't won a World Series? Here's a goat head for you.
Okay.
So.
And I have one more, I guess, some NCAA football news. Fans will be glad to know that the Egg Bowl will be played on Thanksgiving Day once again.
Ooh.
The Egg Bowl, you say? I know that's what you're thinking. The Egg Bowl is the traditional game between Mississippi and Mississippi State.
Hey, there you go.
So there'll be a Thanksgiving Day game. Other than the Lions.
Well, get the college football back into it then. So.
Other than the Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. You'll be able to watch a college game, yes.
Hey, there you go. But, well, I don't know if you, for those of you who weren't watching the NCAA championship basketball game Monday Night Raw was very entertaining. You ask, why was it entertaining? Not due to the wrestling. The fans were hysterical. They were chanting everything. They would start chanting out random old wrestlers that have been retired for the past 20 years or something. I think they started chanting for the announcers just sitting down there. And then the funniest one was Fandango, who beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. He came out and this is his intro music. crowd started humming it during his match. Ba-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, and continued to do it throughout the rest of Monday Night Raw. And then, having done some research, I found out that at the very end of Monday Night Raw's taping, or shooting of it, the announcer said, "Oh, thank you very much for being a wonderful crowd. Have a wonderful evening, blah, blah, blah." Then they played it, and then the crowd continued to sing it along and not left the arena for a while. So,
this was a wild and crazy Raw. It takes me back to the days of some of the stories that one of our old co-workers, Dog, used to tell us about. Is how 1 to 2 or 3 people or so can work a crowd and influence the wrestlers.
Yep.
First of all, this crowd was loving on all the heels or the bad guys.
Yep.
They were cheering every single bad guy that came out there.
Yep.
It was crazy. It was the craziest thing I've seen in a while. And it was cool and different. I mean, just because WWE tends to get a little boring sometimes, especially their Raw shows anymore. Get a little bit boring, but the crowd just kept it going all night long.
Yeah.
They were chanting the announcers' names at one point in the show.
Yeah, that was the funniest because they first started with JBL, and the announcers were like, "Are they chanting JBL?" And they're like, "They are." And then 2 seconds later, they started chanting Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. And they said, "Well, if they start chanting Michael Cole, we're all leaving. That's it. We're done for the night." Sure enough, a minute later, Michael Cole, Michael Cole. So, I really hope that this sets a new bar for how all the crowds should be from now on. Because I would tune in just to watch the crowd chant and act stupid like that.
I do and I don't, because my thought is I don't want to see it become just a rehearsed, repeat type situation. It's got to be spontaneous like that was, you know?
Yeah. Well, I hope each crowd can like come up with some new stuff or something. So.
You never know what they can do anymore with the whole crowd situation. But yeah, if they do cool things like that, that'll be great. A crowd needs to get into it more. They really do.
Yep.
If you know it's going to be not so great of a night, get the crowd into it, work the crowd. I love that. I love that. I mean, you think about it that night, watching some of the expressions of the faces of some of the wrestlers, they didn't know how to react to that. They really didn't.
Well, the funniest was during Sheamus and Orton. By the way, I was watching the Michigan basketball game, but when it turned to a commercial, I'd flip back to Raw for a minute and watch it. The funniest was during Orton and Sheamus's match against each other. And right now, both Sheamus and Orton are good guys. The crowd was booing both of them, and then Big Show came out. But before Big Show came out, the crowd was just like booing them like non-stop and singing Fandango's theme song, and Orton and Sheamus kept stop wrestling. They were looking at the crowd like, what the heck, like, what is this? And then Big Show came out and knocked out, punched both of them, and the crowd cheered for that. And so it was a crazy, crazy night. So.
And then some of your wrestlers being called by their old names.
Yep. Oh yes, I forgot about that one. Yes. Who was that? Mark Henry, when he first came out, the crowd started chanting "Sexual Chocolate," which used to be his name, and he didn't like that one too much. You could tell by his facial expressions. So.
Another quick thing we can talk about, and this is continuing with wrestling, is the fact that have you noticed the difference in John Cena?
I have.
I have too. I kind of think he's gone like a heel turn, but without really making a big deal about it being a heel turn.
Yeah.
And he hasn't fully gone there. He's still doing like charity work and things like that. But in the ring, he's being totally different. So think we've kind of seen like a little bit of the heel turn in John Cena. I think they're testing the waters a little bit.
I was about ready to say that's kind of the feeling I get right now, that it's more of him just testing the waters to, see, how are people going to take it. And I'm reading stuff online about people who want him. They're saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, Cena needs to turn heel. It's time for him to do something different."
Yep.
But yeah, but that's
we wish the. I don't know if I can even say this seriously. We wish the Rock a speedy recovery.
Yes, apparently the reason he lost to John Cena at WrestleMania was due to the fact he had an abdominal injury, and he wrestled for 15 minutes after that. That's the excuse they're coming up with. But we wish you the best of luck there, Rock. So.
Hope you return soon.
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? That's all I have for this week's show.
That's all I have too.
So, guys, have a great week. Stay dry. It's a wet one out there. Wish you all the best. Have a great one. I am the coach.
And I'm Jamie.
And if you're not down with that,
We got 2 words for you.